Hello everyone, I'm getting ready to do my top end again, and I wanted to do a quick video on some tips and tricks I have for you when you do yours. I'm not going to do a whole video on how to do a top end on this bike because Rocky Mountain ATV already has a great video that I'm going to link in the description below. There are a couple of things you want to do when you do your top end. Specifically, you want to replace the oil pump, which is this thing right here. You want to probably replace your crankcase pressure sensor, which is up here. And I would also recommend replacing your reeds, which are down here in this reed cage. To do this job, it's easiest to start by removing the throttle body. To remove the throttle body, you basically undo this metal clamp here, this metal clamp there. But it is a bit of a tight squeeze. So what I recommend doing is also removing your lower subframe bolt here and on the other side as well, and then loosening the top subframe bolts, which are here and on the other side. When you do that, you can go ahead and lift the whole subframe up, which will give you a lot more room to work here. Don't go yanking the subframe up because you may tear this boot here. What will end up happening most of the time is the left side will come out first because this is sort of softer rubber, and then you'll have to work the throttle body out of this side of the boot. When you have the throttle body loose, you kind of want to pull it forward to this end here, which will open up this whole space to do the rest of the work. What I recommend doing next is getting the reed cage out. It's got 4 bolts, 2 up here and 2 on the bottom. When you remove those, the whole thing will come out and you can replace your reeds. You want to replace your reeds because they're made of carbon fiber and they do vibrate constantly as the engine is running, and they do wear over time. Next, what I would do is drop the crankcase pressure sensor tray. The tray is this plastic thing right here. It's got 2 screws on this side, one right here underneath and one a little further back, and it's got another one on the other side. When you remove those 3 screws, the whole tray will drop and you can then easily remove your crankcase pressure sensor. I recommend replacing the crankcase pressure sensor because it does wear over time. There's a little membrane inside that vibrates as the engine pressure increases and decreases, and that membrane can wear over time as well. Once you have the pressure sensor replaced, you can put the tray back on, and then you can work on the oil pump, which is right here. Your new oil pump will likely come with this plastic stopper. What I like to do is squeeze that plastic hose with my fingers as I pull this pump out, and then I plug it right away with the stopper. I would still put a rag down on your engine because you're probably going to get a little bit of oil out. But with this whole contraption here out of the way, you got plenty of space to do this job easily. Once the oil pump is replaced, you can go ahead and put everything back together. And don't forget to put your subframe bolts back in and torque everything to spec. I'm going to proceed with my job now, and I'm going to show you guys some more tips as I go along. All right, so progress is being made. I got the cylinder off, I got the piston out. Things are looking pretty good there. The piston looks okay to me. It's got 120 hours on it. It does have some blow-by, but I don't think it's a big issue here. So I'm going to proceed. So that 120 hours is using this Legend ZX2 two-stroke oil. This is an organic oil coming from Michigan, and I've been using this since my last rebuild. This oil was recommended to me by Kels of Architect Heads, and it's been pretty great so far. It smells really nice, and from what I can tell, it's got really great wear properties because the piston and the cylinder look pretty good. So I got some parts soaking here. I got my power valve cover soaking in acetone, and I got the head as well that I'm going to soak a little bit to get some of the carbon off. This is the power valve after 120 hours. It looks pretty bad. Last time it took me many hours to clean this properly, and it delayed the job of rebuilding the top end. So I have a tip. Buy yourself a new power valve. This is a brand new one. They're not that expensive, and you can save yourself a lot of time for the rebuild because you can just install this and then take your time afterwards cleaning the old one for next time. Now this next tip should have been my first tip for you guys, which is buy your top end kit from Andrew Cooksey. It's a full kit, has all the O-rings, everything you need, including A or B pistons, and one more really trick thing, which let me show you. Okay, so this is a typical clip that you get for the piston wrist pin. It's a pain in the butt to put in. People have scratched pistons and had these things fly across the garage many times. However, Andrew offers these clips. So these are basically easy clips, and they're much easier to work with. Here's my new piston with the easy clip installed. As you can see, it installs exactly the same way, except that it's much easier to handle. So these are my clip pliers, and you can tell it is extremely easy to get it exactly where you want it. So once again, I recommend you guys get your kit from Andrew, and I'm going to leave a link to his website in the description below. All right, we're moving right along. I got the piston installed, I got the cylinder back on, and now I want to show you guys another tip that I think is super helpful, especially for those of you who are like me, cannot sleep at night unless you torque everything to spec. So for the head bolts, you can get a socket on there pretty easily, right? But you can't really get one in here or on the other side either. So what do you do if you want to torque this to spec? Well, the good news is you can buy one of these from Tokyo Off-Road. He sells these, and basically what this is a torque wrench extension specifically for this use case. If you note, that goes on there really easily, right? It squeezes in just perfectly. You can use it on these as well if you want. And the trick to using these is to make sure your torque wrench is at a 90-degree angle to this lever arm, basically. In which case, the torque you're going to have on your wrench is going to be correct when you apply it like that. Here it is attached to my torque wrench. I can't get a perfect 90-degree angle, but it's close enough. So now I'll show you how this works. I know it's a little hard to see, but I have it on the nut, and now I can apply torque. Click, click, and I can sleep at night. As I mentioned, you can also use it on these bolts, no problem, and on the other side. All right, guys, I got the bike back together. I do want to mention one thing. If you do replace your oil pump, like I suggested, make sure you prime it. There is a good Rocky Mountain ATV video on how to prime the oil pump, which I'll link in the description below as well. One other thing I want to mention is that for some time now, I've been struggling with the lower pipe mount, which is down here. That bolt goes into this metal bracket when the bike comes out of the factory, and it worked okay, but at some point it started stripping and just became a pain in the butt to reinstall. So what I did was just put a proper nut on it, and this is a much stronger hold, and I'm much more happy with it, and it's a lot easier to reassemble. All right, so we came to the moment of truth. I'm a little nervous as usual, but let's see what happens. All right. That's what we like to see. All right, guys, I'm beat. It's hot. I've been in the garage for 2 days, but I'm really happy this bike is up and running again. So thank you for watching as usual. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.